Hi, this is Castle of Castle Does, and I am drinking ah a nice beverage. So here we go. I found another transition that I was not happy with, and decided to try and fix that. Uh, Sometimes I've noticed that there are weird anomalies when I'm recording the recording. Um, Hopefully this doesn't come out too bad. But uh, so since I've been going around all over the place trying to find stuff, this was a spot where I found a really bad transition again, and it was in a similar area. So I pretty much treated it like the other previous area, but it's much smaller spot. So it was like a much smaller transition bug. So I went in, kind of made it look fancy. Okay, so this is pretty funny. What you're seeing here is the Sarlacc pit. There's no Sarlacc. I don't think. Maybe there'll be a Sarlacc down the road if there's enough demand for an actual Sarlacc. But the idea was we were just kind of joking around, and it was like, oh, why don't you just add a Sarlacc pit? Well, here you go. Nice Sarlacc pit in the starting area too. It's kind of weird. Well, it's not totally in the starting area, but I also jumped over and took on a whole bunch more areas. In the process of polishing these areas up, trying to get what I want. The original plan was to do a big shell, but after conversations with the rest of the team and mainly the art director, the big shell ended up kind of, well, maybe it's too much in this one area. Although I'm finding that the idea that you do these areas very quickly, I don't know. It's a weird trade-off because it would be nice to be able to do more areas, and kind of get, this is me kind of working on that one section right there where the shell was supposed to go. And then I tried maybe doing like a giant crack. Let me not get too sidetracked. There's an idea of like doing lots and lots of like areas that are fairly simple, um, where you're not really, where there isn't really a whole lot going on. It happens in a lot of open world games and stuff like that, but eh, it's a good idea, but in practice it doesn't quite end up working out so well. There's this here, I'm kind of like getting rid of all the voxels and finding the Sarlacc pit. So the idea in general is to simplify some of the areas and not do too much, which is a good pacing thing, right? But it's difficult, and maybe some people can give advice or their thoughts, what they think, but or at least on in terms of like pacing, but also in we have a small team, so filling every square inch of this giant world space with something really big or super interesting could end up actually backfiring, not just because of the extra workload, but because when there's just too much weird stuff going on, does it end up kind of cheapening the entire feel? Like, wouldn't it? Is it better? It's generally better to have like a large open space and then something really cool in the middle of it, and then a little bit more simplistic stuff going on, and then really cool thing. I guess it's a matter of density of detail, at least in terms of like not just like in geometry detail, but uh, open world game design seems to have a thing where it's like you're setting down landmines of fun, and you're hoping that the player steps on them, and you have to put one every 20 feet. In this game, maybe because of the fact that we have vehicles. See, vehicles actually make a really big difference, especially if you have really big vehicles or very fast vehicles. Um, I mean, Skyrim has horses. At this point, I'm just thinking out loud. It's a really complicated thing. It's not actually a simple topic. Like, how much detail do you need? Uh, should it be every 20 feet or should it be every 40 feet? Um, so at this point, with the Sarlacc pit, I was maybe thinking of having that big shell, but after talking about it more, it maybe something a little bit simpler would be a better idea, and kind of just like, chill, relax. There's a lot more space. I mean, this game's got a big world space, like it's freaking huge. Um, it is really big. uh, so there's really no harm in kind of hanging back and making what we work on actually a little bit, having like a big detail here, make it matter more that there's a Sarlacc pit and just kind of have that. Although I want the Sarlacc pit to be more interesting. I think I'm gonna do more to it. Of course, I mean, you have a Sarlacc pit. I'm calling it a Sarlacc pit. It's not a Sarlacc pit. Not in this traditional sense of a freaking Sarlacc. But what's different about this area is that this is a biome that traditionally does not have the green grass. And in fact, when I was first working on this area, I was actually asked to move the green grass away. However, in this area right now, I'm adding green grass and combining these two biomes in a way that's different from all the other areas. So this area right here is sort of the kelp forest and safe shallows combo. And then in this one corner over here, I'm going to do something that's even weirder. And I won't go into too much detail because I'd like it to be something that is actually fairly mysterious. It is purposely designed to be something that catches the player's attention and makes you think. So the idea is not to do something that's really huge and over crazy, like overly detailed, but something that is merely really neat. And when you stumble on it, you'll be playing and you just be like, "What the hell is this? This is pretty weird. Did somebody just do this? Like, uh, is there more to this?" Act as though that there's more going on to it. Like, could could this have been some ancient race, or uh, are there aliens on the planet, sentient beings? We don't know. Uh, all that kind of stuff will always be hinted at because it's a fairly crazy open world place where just about anything could be possible. There could be multiple stories, uh, all kinds of different things. Maybe multiple races. One went extinct, and the next one rised up, and so it's an interesting environment where all kinds of possibilities can exist. And it's young. As far as the game's world, it's still extremely young. Who knows? Maybe 2 years from now, there'll be all kinds of content that where you actually get to see them and get to see their city that was destroyed or some crazy shit. The lost city that you have to like find through a secret by digging under the ground or something. Who knows? I don't know. That would be really freaking cool. I'm totally all for it. So I end up kind of doing busy work at this point to uh, work on the cliff face here and have a little bit of a transition. And then I'm starting to think about, well, there's a couple of things I start thinking about while I'm working on this spot. One of the things I noticed is that the safe shallows areas that I've been working on before, at this point, it starts to be a little bit more clear to me. These safe shallows areas that are a little bit more plain, the ones that I've been working on, are more plain than the ones that the other designer has been making. So I really need to uh, take a look at what he's doing and really, I mean, I thought I was, but on like later inspection, I kind of think that I I could do a better job. So later down the road, I end up wanting to try and get to these safe shallow areas and get them to match the other safe shallow stuff a lot more closely. Um, and that was that. Like I was getting ready and uh, talking a lot more talking going on and planning at this point. So I at at this point, I'm wondering what I'm going to put. What I was just describing. That'd be an interesting thing to add to that one blank space right there. All right, thank you for watching.